Welcome back. The small town of Robertson in New South Wales is home to cheese production, an old butter factory and the much-loved film Babe. It's a classic. It's now got another honour too. The big potato has just been crowned Australia's worst big thing. You heard it right. Not the best, the worst. For a minute there, I had to concentrate to make sure it was actually indeed a potato.
I mean, look at that. There's so much to not love. One of the men documenting our country's worst eyesores, Jeff Rissol, joins us now from Auckland. And the potato heiress herself, Melanie Tate, joins us live from Sydney. Good morning to you both. Mel, of course, to you first. I don't know if I should say congratulations or commiserations.
Sylvia, it's really interesting that that you're sensitive enough to know that it could be a congratulations or a commiserations. I just want to point out, I think this is a great honour. It's an honour to be recognised in any way. But I protest the fact that it is the, pooiest thing in Australia. Because, I mean, look at it. You've got the world's most beautiful vegetable on red Robertson soil in a beautiful green meadow of grass. Like, there's nothing rubbish about that. It's a very special spiritual place for those of us from Robertson.
OK, well, put a pin in that for a second just to see if it's cooked. Jeff, I'll bring you in. We've spoken to you before about the blank things of Australia that you've covered before. I can't say the word, but there are some stiff competition on this one here with the biggest things. You've got the big koala, the world's tallest bin. What made the spud here? The world's tallest bin is great. What made the potato stand out for you?
I think the key thing with the big thing is that a community's decided they need a giant object that sums them up as a community. And obviously Kalgoorlie went with the giant bin. And Robertson's gone with the giant potato. I think what has really struck a chord with our fans is it's not immediately obvious that it is a potato. Without the sign, I wouldn't know that wouldn't be where my head goes the first time I saw it. No.
It could be so many other things.
At least two.
Mel, just explain your family heritage here and why you have such a strong emotional connection to this spud.
Well, we actually didn't build it. That credit goes to a man called Jim Major, who incidentally owned the land that Babe was filmed on. So, he's a big part of the cultural imprint of Robertson. But my father and mother bought it a few years ago because it's sort of a pretty basic reason. They had the supermarket, which you can see in those pictures, right next door. And there was all this talk around town that another shop was going to be built on the other side, and they were going to make a concrete car park out of the big potato. So they were going to pave paradise and put in a parking lot. So Dad and Mum didn't want that to happen, and so they bought it. So we've had it it's been in our family for about, maybe about 10 years now. But, I mean, I grew up in Robertson. So if you grew up in Robertson, it's part of, your heritage.
Sorry, I'm just working it out now, Mel, because I've known you for such a long time that I didn't realise that Tate was short for potato. And I did not put two and two together.
It all makes sense now.
Jeff, just as you're choosing something like this, what makes something the absolute worst in the criteria of decision-making for you and your team?
Well, I think it's important to recognise this was a public vote. Thousands of people have voted on it. It's democracy manifest. So we had a smorgasbord of all the big things in Australia, and the Australian public has selected this as the worst.
Hey, Melanie, is there merch involved here? Can we get T-shirts going on this? Can we actually rebrand it and maybe give it a facelift or at least a brush with a potato brush?
It could do a little gurney, maybe.
Yeah.
With a gurney.
Those photos that you've got on are kind of like the saddest of all potato photos. That it has had a facelift since then. It's had a fresh coat of paint. There's a load of merch. You can get mugs, key rings, T-shirts, the works.
I need a T-shirt. What about if you put, and I'm just spitballing here, what about if we put one of those spud carts at the front so people could have a potato at the potato and then we can monetize this,
But there are so many ways you can do a potato as well.
So many. It's such a special vegetable, which is why it's fitting that it has its, own big thing. And I love these ideas because when Mum and Dad first took it over, Dad was constantly trying to spitball ideas on, how to bring more people to it. And I think a spud cart might be it. So, Dave, if you're considering a move away from television, I'm sure you could come up with a really good rent deal with my dad.
I'm just thinking about it now.
He's thinking out loud, which is always dangerous. Mel and Jeff, thank you so much. This has been great fun.
We loved it. Thank you both.
Can't wait to go to Robertson to get our photograph in front of the big potato.
Potato.
Sorry.
Yeah.
She told you off. The potato heiress told you off.
Sorry. See you guys.